Today I'm going to talk about Kyle Larson and Chip Ganassi Racing moving forward, and let's get started.
Ryan Priest, and you're watching William Blackwell on YouTube.
By now, everyone probably knows what took place this past Sunday night. Driver Kyle Larson said a word that no one should ever say, regardless of who you are. It was completely wrong and very unprofessional. But saying that put Chip Ganassi on the hot seat come Monday morning. Do you keep Kyle, or do you let the sponsors go? Or do you keep the sponsors and let Kyle go? He ultimately decided to let Kyle go by firing him and keep the sponsors, which was a great decision. Now he can have the fundings to keep that 42 car going. There has been a couple names floating around, one of them being Jamie McMurray. Jamie McMurray is currently retired from NASCAR racing, but it would not surprise me a single bit if he did decide to come out of retirement. He's raced for Chip Ganassi Racing in the past, and he's won actually a couple big races with him, so it wouldn't be much of a surprise. McDonald's was a sponsor for most of the time there. Credit One Bank was towards the end, and Clover was just a secondary sponsor. But you get my point. And the other day, I made a YouTube video stating that my 5 drivers that can potentially replace him, and I never thought about this. Jamie McMurray, I would have thought he was content with retirement, but this is just a complete shocking thing I just read by The Athletic. But saying that makes me think. Here's an analogy for you. Do you start a senior quarterback, or do you start a sophomore or a freshman? Many of y'all might say, start the senior. He's only got 1 year left. But me, you start the younger one. And you can build him up with experience and move on up. And that's why I'm looking at this situation right now. Do you get Jamie McMurray, who's on his last year, or do you get Ross Chastain, who is just starting off? And that's who I think Chip Ganassi is going to pick, is Ross Chastain. Ross Chastain has raced every single NASCAR Cup Series race this year. He raced Daytona in the 77 car for Spire Motorsports. And at the end of that race, Ryan Newman got hurt, and they had to find a driver to replace him. And Ross Chastain was called to action, and he raced the 6 car at Las Vegas, at Auto Club, and in Phoenix. They were okay performances, considering the fact that Ross Chastain came out of nowhere and had a drive, so it was out of the blue, but Chastain did a good job. But when NASCAR resumes, the Coca-Cola 600, which is expected to happen, he's supposed to drive the 77 car for Spire Motorsports again. It's a 2-race deal, if I'm not mistaken, the Daytona 500 and the Coke 600. He's already signed a sponsor, so he's going to have to race that car. I think Jamie McMurray would race the Coke 600 for the 42 car, but the bigger issue now is who's going to drive that 6 car? Or is Ryan Newman going to come back? I don't know. But if Ryan Newman does not come back, there has been a couple names that I was thinking about that could possibly race it. One being David Reagan, who raced this past year's Daytona 500. 2, Greg Biffle. A couple weeks ago, the NASCAR Pro Invitational Series was racing at the Texas Motor Speedway. And Greg Biffle was in that race, driving the 16 Casserole car, if I'm saying that right. And 16, that makes me think, that's Roush Fenway's number. And he was driving the same exact font and a Ford Mustang. So he's still in talk with that team. He's close to that team. So he could drive this race. Who knows? You got Matt Kenseth, who came out of nowhere a couple years ago in 2018 after retiring in 2017 to drive the 6 car and hit splitting time with Trevor Bayne. And here's another one. Elliott Sadler. He drove the 38 car back in the day for Ford, and he can possibly race this. Chase Briscoe in the Xfinity Series, Austin Cindric, and Carl Edwards, which I highly doubt Carl Edwards will do it best. If I had to pick one and it would be true, it would be Carl Edwards. I would like to see him race again. But as of now, I'm saying Ross Chastain will take over the 42 car for the remainder of the season and possibly go for the NASCAR Cup Series Championship. He's got to get the okay from his Xfinity owner, Matt Collig, to go race up there. And if that happens, who is going to race the 10 car while Ross Chastain doesn't? There's only one name, and it's an obvious one, and it's AJ Allmendinger. AJ Allmendinger is working with Colleague Racing. He's a part-time driver. He races at the road courses mostly and plate tracks. He won the Roval last year, so they got to feel good about putting him in the car. So I think it's going to be a win-win for both sides, all three sides. The 6 car is going to get a driver for the remainder until Ryan Newman gets back. Ross Chastain is going to go to the 42 after driving the 77 car. And the Coke 600, McMurray's coming out. And AJ Allmendinger is getting some good, valuable seat time in a great Xfinity Series team program. But everybody please like and subscribe. And if you haven't already, go check out my friends JB Racing News Reviews and Righteous Redneck channels below. And go subscribe to them. Peace.